What's going on, everybody? Tom here with Keto Lifestyle, and welcome to another cooking video just for you subscribers out there. Now, today's video is actually another installation in our ketogenic barbecue series, and today we are making a ketogenic take on burnt ends. Now, what burnt ends are is they are the point of the brisket that has been smoked and then cubed up and mixed with the sauce before being put back out on the smoker for a little longer. So what you're left with is these fatty, kind of spongy morsels of deliciousness. I know there's no other way to describe them. If you've had them, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But if that sounds good to you guys, hang on tight so I can show you how to make it. Alright everybody, welcome to the recipe. Now what I have in front of me here is the point of a beef brisket that I went ahead and butchered in this brisket video down here. I linked it in the card there and it'll be in the description. I also have some of the dry rub that I will also link in the card right now and put in the description. So in order to make these burnt ends, the first thing we're going to do is just going to cover this in some of that dry rub that we made. Give it a generous coating. Now I have trimmed off a good bit of the fat, got it down to about 1/4 of an inch, and I also removed that fat strip that separates the flat from the point, and that's just because that stuff gets very hard and you really don't want to eat it. Go ahead and get this on both sides of the point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw this out on my smoker at 225 degrees for about 5 to 6 hours until the internal temperature reaches 160 degrees. So this thing was on the smoker for about 6 hours and it reached about 180 degrees, which is pretty much where I want it. I took it off the smoker, let it cool for about 20 minutes, and now we're going to come in here and cut them into 1-inch cubes. If after 20 minutes it's still too hot to handle, that's totally alright. You can leave it longer. It doesn't really make a big difference. Just make sure it's cool enough to touch and then cut them into cubes. Now that the point of our brisket is cubed up, I have it here in a cast iron skillet. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, go ahead and use one of those aluminum baking pans, or even those disposable ones work great. You just need some type of metal dish that can contain all of the burnt ends. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a tablespoon of the dry rub that we actually rubbed on this at the beginning of the recipe, and I'll put a link in the description for it. We're going to add that to 1 cup of beef broth, and then we're going to add in 1 cup of the barbecue sauce that we made in the recipe that I'm going to put in the card right now. Now give this a quick little mix, and then we're going to pour this directly over all of the burnt ends. Now to keep these things moist, we're going to go ahead and cover them in aluminum foil. So now that this is covered in aluminum foil, we're going to go ahead and put this back on the smoker, still at 225 degrees, for an additional 2 hours. Now, after the first hour, go and remove the foil, stir it up, put the foil back on, let it cook for that second hour, then they should be ready to go. And now that you guys have seen the recipe, it is time for the taste test. Now what I have here is just a few of the burnt ends thrown into a bowl, but so that you guys can get a better look at it, I'm going to put a picture of our finished product on the screen right now. And now that we know how delicious they look, let's see how delicious they taste. So here is one of our little morsels. Now let's start by talking about the texture. Now, it's probably something you've never experienced before, but they're kind of spongy until you hit a specific point, and then they kind of just break and it becomes very tender. They're covered in a mixture of that ketogenic barbecue sauce and some beef broth with a little more dry rub, so it's definitely a very thick, kind of smoky barbecue sauce that they're covered in. I personally find these to be one of the best ways to prepare any form of brisket, and these are actually gone before the flat of the brisket is. So if you've never tried burnt ends, I really recommend it, guys. With that, I'm going to go and close the video. If you liked the video, leave it a like. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section. And if you have not subscribed yet, do me a huge favor, guys. Hit that subscribe button, show some love, and I will see you in the next one.